Hello, hello, hello. This is Tom from Tom and Ruth Philippine Adventures. Today we're going to talk about once you come here and you find a Filipina, or say you get married, or you wait a year and get married. These questions are going to start coming up. So be prepared for these. Okay, first things first. What happens is you get on the airplane, you get all your stuff sold, you're on your way to the Philippines, and you get all excited about coming to the Philippines. You sold everything. You sold your car, your house, you got rid of your condo, you got rid of your boat, you got rid of whatever that you own, your watches, all the jewelry, you got rid of your diamond rings. It's worth millions of dollars, and you're on your way to the Philippines. You meet her at the airport. Everything's fine. Everything's fine for a while. You get married, and say a year later you're married. But during that time, and then right after that, there's going to be some questions that start popping up. I want to have a child. Can we have a child? Which is fine and perfect. And it's wonderful. And I think it's fantastic. A lot of guys don't really realize that question will pop up quite a bit. And what it is, it's maybe you already have children. Maybe you have grandchildren. Maybe you don't want children. But that question should be asked, like I said yesterday in that video. You should always ask that question. One of the very first things in communication with your Filipina is ask these questions. You know, when, what do you do for fun? Do you stay on Facebook most of the time? Or do you like fishing? Do you like golfing? What do you do? What do you do to take care of your time? Well, I do laundry and I cook, or I do laundry and I sit here, or I don't do anything and my grandma does it, my Grammy does it all. And you're going to find that out, as I said yesterday. But what I'm saying is this: you need to ask as many questions that you can think of. If you have to write them down, I wrote them down. I talked to Ruth about 8 to 9 months before I came here. Once I came here, we got married about 6 months after. 5 to 6 months after. But I was prepared. We were prepared. We talked about getting married. And I asked her to get married, yes. And so when I got here, I had the rings and everything the first time, but they got stolen at the airport during that bullet scam. You guys remember that? Think you don't. It's just a story. It's a bullet scam here in Manila. So all stuff got stolen. My rings, my shoes, I think about $1,600. Rings, wedding band, the diamond and the engagement ring, shoes, a charge controller, really nice one for laptops, battery powered. But yet they didn't steal my next book, which was fantastic. Probably couldn't. It's big. It's this big compared to rings in a box, and I was really sickened. I was just beside myself. I worked hard for all that, and let's just say $3,000 worth of stuff gone, $2,500 worth of stuff gone, and the shoes that I had were some shoes that I liked and I wanted to keep them. They were $100 shoes, so they're Bostonians, and I had those, and I want them dress shoes like when I do things, go to church and things like that, weddings, but they're gone. So, but I asked all the right questions, I thought, and then when I came here, there was more questions asked of me, and then I asked questions of her, and then she asked me the right questions. Are you married? Are you sure you're not married? Are you really coming? Is it fake? Are you really telling me the truth, or am I wasting my time with you? And a lot of times the Filipina may think that you're wasting time with her because you're just not acting, you're not going, but she doesn't realize that you're saving and doing the things to maintain. Here they live for the day, they don't live for tomorrow. And so it's a different world here. So they have a hard time understanding what savings is. They hear the culture itself. I guarantee there's nobody that I know here in the Philippines is Filipino that has savings. They just don't save. They do to the day. If they have money, say they got 100,000 peso in because of this, they sold something, they did this, or they're farming, they got this money in. First thing they do is go buy a car. If they don't have a car, they're going to go buy something else. They're going to go buy a motorcycle. They're going to buy to the need, whatever it is of that time, at that particular time in their life. But something you don't really realize, they will ask for a baby. They will ask maybe, and you need to make sure that the family gets involved, meaning that they may ask for money. Now, I'm lucky. I didn't have that happen to me. I don't have that happen to me. All the family members are self-sustaining. In other words, they all have their jobs. They have farming. They do farming. One owns a small business. So they do things that keep themselves active and monetarily set. I mean, there were times where they needed money, but I needed money from them sometimes because Western Union and the troubles with Western Union. Western Union and all were fantastic and great and wonderful, but once they see your browsers outside the United States, you have to make sure you use a VPN or a proxy. If you do not, they will know that you're outside the United States, and bam, you get nothing. And once you're on that list, it's the same list, and it goes to MoneyGram, it goes to Value. That list goes to everybody so they know not to send to you. Your name goes on a list. It's like a blacklist. And Bud Brown, I've gone through it. I mean, Mike, my Philippine journey at the time, went through it. I think Chris Britt's gone through it. A lot of us have gone through it. And it's something that we don't really realize. Something as simple as getting money can be complicated. But I just use my credit cards, and it makes it easier. But you'll have that come up, like, say, for instance, you're getting married and you need additional $500 or $1,000, and you have it in savings and you can pull from it. But here, overall, they won't. Now, what Ruth is really good about, she gave me money back that I given her. And I told her it was hers for her and R no matter what. I mean, the first day she gave that money back, some money back. And that's unique. And I knew that I had a really wonderful lady at that particular time that just really shocked me. And I knew that she was really into me, and she's into me, and she loved me. And I knew that, and I could tell that. Just like I'm into her, even to this day, 5 years, 6 years later, I'm still into her. And I always enjoy my time with her. And that's the thing. You got to make sure that you have that bond, that you can enjoy the time with your Filipina. If you don't enjoy your time with her, you're best not to get married at all. You're best stay single. Just do whatever you want to do, and do whatever you need to do. Go whatever that you like doing. A lot of guys come here and they're just interested in lady for the day, lady for the week, lady for the month, and that's wonderful. I think it's great if that's what they want to do. Some guys want to come here and they want a lady for lifetime, and so you just plan that accordingly. But they're going to ask you, I want a baby, no, first things first, or I don't want babies. A lot of them already have kids. A lot of these ladies will already have children. They will, I would say, 60-70% of the girls you're talking to already has a child, and they may say they don't, but you need to do your due diligence and check that out. A lot of Filipino will lie about whether they have children or not, and you'll find out when you come here. And it happens. I mean, we had an incident that I know of, a family on the other side of town, and that's exactly what happened. She was lying to an American, and she blatantly said that she's lying. She has a child, and he thinks she doesn't. But, I'm thinking, well, it's none of my business. I should contact him, but it's still none of my business, and I should not get involved, and I won't get involved. It's none of my business with that. So as a person, and it's true, it's none of my business. I should not get involved in that, and I won't. It's like that first second, well, I need to tell him. Well, no, I don't need to tell him, because it's his responsibility to ask the right questions. It's like if I decide to go buy a tool, the guy's going to tell me not to buy the tool? I don't think so. If he's going to come here and be with his Filipina, maybe he already has the red flags and he's aware of it, just not said anything. And that happens too. But I do want to say that those questions will get asked. I want a child. I want this. Is it okay with you? I want that if it's okay with you. But you need to work things out before you tie the knot, before you get married. Because once you get married, you're married. And there's no ifs, ands, or buts here. You're married. You can't get out of it here. You can get out of it, but you can't get out of it here. Because if you're married here. You can get an annulment. It costs you $5,000. But, it really, in the long run there, it's going to cause more grief in the long run. It's better not to get married at all. It's best to be with a lady for a small period of time, for a long period of time, small or long, it doesn't matter, for 6 months, a year, 2 years, and then if you decide to get married, get married. Even though people don't like that, and even though it's not the right thing, but you need to make sure. Okay, I've been talking jabbering for 10 minutes. God bless, and thank you so much, and thank you for always watching our videos.